Hey everyone, how is it going? My name is Teresa Lowe. You are watching Talk with T.LO, a live stream show on YouTube Live. We are here every Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Today I have super funny comedians. I have Mike Perkins and Danny Plom. They're about to enter the room, so just give them a second. Hey Mike.
What's up? What's up?
How is it going? What is new with you? Tell the audience.
Nothing much. I'm just doing some comedy stuff, staying productive during the pandemic. I just did the Boston Comedy Festival. I think we did it together, right? You were a part of it too?
Oh yeah, I was a part of it. How was it for you?
It was great. I got to the semifinals.
Woo!
Which was awesome. I was, super excited about that, and been living on that high for the past couple weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We also have Danny. Danny, what is new with you?
Oh man, still inside the house. Have been able to leave, but it's been fun. We got my friend Willie and we got our podcast launched on the Laugh Factory. So that's Afro Noodles. So just been talking smack with him, and that's it. Yeah.
That's very cool. How did that happen? How did you get on the Laugh Factory network?
They reached out to us and said, "Do you want to be on the network?"
Oh, that is awesome. Very good. Congratulations on that too. Look at you guys. That's good though. It's like everyone's keeping busy during the pandemic, right? It's like you don't want to just stay inside and do nothing. So that
is, you know what really started? We were how it really began was we were making just TikTok videos because we were really bored, and we're like, oh, let's just throw these podcast clips on TikTok, and then it kind of grew, and then that's when we just kind of started getting traction. But yeah, it was really due to TikTok. So I got to thank TikTok for that.
Thank the talkers.
Yeah.
What they call them? The talkers?
The talk, yeah. They're
TikTok old saying that. I'm like, are those the talkers?
The TikTok boppers? I think that's what TikTok they're called. Boppers? Yeah. The teenies.
You're doing really well on TikTok. What do you think the secret is to do well on TikTok?
I don't know what the algorithm is per se, but I think it's if it's something, again, you got to think of your audience. You know, I mean, it's like these guys are really young, and I think it just helps that I look younger than I really am. But to be honest, I think it's really if it's like this, it's not about what the content is. I think it's about consistency. So whatever your niche is, you gotta stick to it, because the algorithm on TikTok will recognize that. So if you only do, I guess, let's say selfie videos, right, and you talk about food, then you have to consistently do that, and that's all the content you're putting out is that type of formula, and then it registers, and all of a sudden one of the videos will blow up, and then and then that's how you build your TikTok following, I guess. So stay consistent.
Yeah, I don't think I could be consistent. I made I think 5 videos and I gave up. I was like, whatever. What about you? Do you use TikTok?
Do I?
Yeah.
I try to. I got look, Danny, I don't want to brag, but my last video got 145 views. So
God damn, Mike.
Doing pretty good with the talkers. But now you said if I gotta shave my beard, I think that's what it is. I gotta look younger than I am.
Maybe
doing
my and film it. Yeah, it's like let them
shave the filming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, don't even Mike,
shaving your body.
don't even shave it. Take it another level. Pluck it one by one.
Pluck it one by one.
Yes, the tears. I think the tears from those would do well. I think the pain. I think they like laughing at pain. I think that's gonna work. It might.
They love pain. Okay. I mean, let me teach you youngsters how to shave, but I'm gonna do it one by one. Just start plucking.
Yeah.
So funny.
So very cool. Normally on this show, I usually bring up news topics and ask you about it. But today we kind of have something special because I have 2 dude guests. So I want to ask you guys dude questions, let's see. So I'm kind of curious, are you guys more old fashioned or modern? And I'm going to just guess your answers to the following questions. So the first question, if you were to get married, would you want your wife to take your name? Mike, you go first.
Yeah, for sure.
But why?
I think, well, I would kind of like it if, I don't know. I guess I grew up old fashioned that way. And I don't think it's like a bad old fashioned, you know? I mean, if she would want to do like, you know, her name plus hyphen my name, that'd be great. But, yeah, I think I would like to have her take my last name.
What about you, Danny?
You know what? It's 2020, so I feel like we should be equal. If she doesn't want my name, then don't take it. And my name sucks. It's Plum, you know? So like I would get it if she didn't want it, because it's like, you know, who wants their last name like a fruit, you know? But like I feel like it depends though. If her name was like also like something like, you know, pineapples, like I wouldn't want that either. So I feel like, you know,
It's a smoothie couple, you know?
right?
Yeah, and Mr. Mo in the comments said regarding names, he doesn't care and he's 50. And so even with me, so like, you know, I don't think anyone should feel shame whether they want the name to be changed or whatever. Like I'd actually be okay with changing the name. Like what I would do is I would take my last name and turn it into my middle name and then take the guy's name. And so that when I have my stage name, I keep the stage name.
Oh.
In real life, I'd have like a different name. So it almost could like create a separate persona. So I don't mind either. Like we were talking about Mike is like, I think it makes sense. Like my older sister, she took her husband's name, but my little sister, she kept her I don't know if you say real name, but yeah, she kept her maiden name. So it's really fun, you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. Do you think women should pay on the date?
First date, no. Not even, no. I feel like if the guy doesn't pay on the first date, the girl should just be like, I'm done with this guy.
Yeah, but why?
But why? Well, I think it's more of a, maybe I'm old fashioned again.
It's totally fine.
How old are you, Mike?
TikTok is gonna love these videos. TikTok are gonna love these videos that we post after this.
I get 1950s from Mike. Well, I don't know why, but
you don't have to say. But why do you believe that? Because I also believe it too, but I just want to hear your reasoning.
Well, I believe in it. It's more of like, I mean, I want my girl to be independent as well. And I think like once you kind of become in a relationship, then it can start to become 50-50. But I want to make sure that she knows that I can take care of her and I'm going to be there for her, you know, which might get kind of deep on the first date if it's like, I'm going to be there for you forever if I pay for this meal. But I think, yeah, it's just a nice gesture because, you know, I'm just, as the guy, you're just happy the girl's even there dating you. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So like, you know, I appreciate your company. I just want to, you know, take care of you on the first date.
That's good. What about you, Danny?
Man, I just got to say, Mike is a romantic guy. If you want someone like your daughter to marry somebody, this is the type of person you're looking up for. You know, like this is what they need. This is what the world is missing. Now we just get dudes that are in the streets. You know, you don't have guys like Mike here that are just really bringing it down like how it's supposed to be, you know? So,
but Danny, I noticed you're like not talking about your first person. Like, I feel like you're kind of hinting that you would let her pay. Like, what do you do?
What? First of all, okay, women nowadays, some women might take that as a disrespect. I know Mike is talking about old fashioned, okay, but like nowadays, like let's say you offer it, some women might be like, "Are you kidding me? You think I can't pay for this meal myself? You don't want to split it? You don't think that I can afford to? I work full time. I have a 9-to-5 job, you know." So sometimes it could get interpreted if you're reaching for the check. So I always like to, hey, you know, how do you want, and then kind of fish for it, you know, and see if they take the bite. And if they bite and they want to, that's starting.
Girl's gonna bite then.
Whoa. Okay, so the comments, Mr. Mo is saying never let her pay. And he also said he is divorced and his ex-wife took his name and kept it. And then Gianluca saying, let her pay if she offers. So we do have kind of a split in the crowd. So it's like some are on the Danny team, some are on the Mike team. I'm similar to Mike, where like, I would prefer if a man just paid for everything. Like I'm
okay.
independent. I'm very codependent. I'm like, pay for everything. That would be my dream. So
It's a partnership, you know, and that's where you kind of do that at the time. Like I think it's nice when a girl on the date, she does offer to pay, but then I'm not going to let her pay, you know. But it is cool if she's like, no, let me get it, you know, and it's cute. You're like, no, you don't have to do it, you know.
But what if she did not do the reach at all? Would that turn you off?
No, I don't think so.
Danny, would that turn you off?
No, but I think it's like a combination. You know, did she not reach and then flip open her phone and then start going through, like, you know, like that's when it's like, oh, okay. But also, like, if you're the guy that asked her out, I feel like you do have to, you know, obligated to pay. So, you know, if she asked you out, that's a whole different story. You know, that's like, hey, you know, like I would still pay, obviously, right? But you know, money nowadays, you know, shouldn't be the launching before your relationship takes off. It shouldn't be that, like, you know.
Okay, but let's say this, Danny. Let's say you had a daughter and your daughter was like, oh, this guy took me on a date and he didn't pay. Would you be like, ew, he sucks?
I would start with questions. You know, I would say, okay, well, who is this guy? Is he an NBA player? Is he a famous YouTuber? What, you know, what's the level we're talking about? If he's just some regular guy, Joe Schmo, you know, from Willamette High School, no, then absolutely not. You better check him and make sure that he, you know, did he ask you out, you know, and he didn't pay? You better dump him, because that's whack.
But wait. So then that means you're kind of acknowledging that he's supposed to pay.
It depends. Like, you gotta, it's an investment. If it's like a famous YouTuber or an NBA player or something, then honey, take the L for right now. And I would say, let's work towards, you know, you gotta show these guys that you're in it for the long haul, you know? So, but if it's, like I said, a regular guy, then what's the point? You gotta lose him, you know?
Wait.
Yeah. Final answer.
Now I'm getting confused about you on a date, because like you're kind of letting us know that the guy is supposed to pay, whether you're saying either he's a loser or if he's balling, he needs to pay. So that kind of, you're saying he needs to pay, but then you said you let her pay. So are you saying get rid of you?
What?
Maybe
I'm saying if my daughter is on a date, right?
Okay.
With said guy. Now it could be either a famous guy who could definitely afford to pay, or a guy that's kind of just, you know, a regular dude. He's a nurse, maybe. I don't know. But nothing against nurses. Nurses are very hard workers and they're helping us during the pandemic.
Yeah, come on, dude. They're essential right now, okay? They're essential workers.
Essential workers,
for all the essential workers right now. I'm paying for the nurse no matter what.
I appreciate you guys. You guys have been sticking, you know, Q-tips in my nose for the last month. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
My daughter better date a nurse. I'll tell you that much.
Mr. Mo is commenting. He's saying, my daughter should find a real man, not a cheap punk. So
damn, Mr. Mo.
I
felt that one. I felt that.
Strong emotions towards you, Dan. Because first I think, Mike, you felt maybe self-conscious being more old-fashioned, but I think most people might actually deep down be old-fashioned. But we'll see. We'll keep asking questions. See, this is why it's dicey, because nobody likes to talk anymore about traditional or modern, because it gets heated, right? It gets heated. So the question: would you date a woman who didn't shave her armpits?
Mike going first?
Mike, oh, wait, does Mike want to go first or Danny? Let's have Danny go first.
Yeah, Danny can go first.
You know, that depends. That's a very loaded question. Because for me, I don't mind it. Okay.
What?
Wait, what? Are you lying? I feel
Danny,
like
tell the truth, all right?
I'm being for real.
We didn't put you because you're a liar. Come on.
Okay, are we talking just armpits or are we talking everything?
Let's talk just armpits first, and then we'll ask more about the other hair.
Okay, so armpits. I feel like I don't mind, because think about it. If it was shaved or not shaved, I mean, when am I ever down there? You know, like, am I, you know,
Down
right? Am I eating the armpit out? No, I'm never eating the armpit out. I'm literally like, who does that? So I wouldn't mind if it was hairy or not hairy, you know?
Wait, so you would date a woman with hairy armpits?
Of course, I totally would.
Okay. What about you, Mike? You
Mike's laughing too hard for this.
Yeah, I feel like you say no. He's traditional.
I'm so old fashioned. I mean, well, I feel like, okay, look, if it's winter time and like obviously if you have stubble and stuff, I'm not going to be like, oh, Jesus Christ. But like, you should want to groom yourself, you know, like take care of yourself. I don't want like, and I know like girls don't shave their legs in the winter time and stuff too, sometimes, whatever. But like, you know, I mean, groom yourself is the thing, you know? If I'm trimming my unibrow, you can shave your armpits. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
I also like, I guess when it comes to a man, I would want him to be a certain level of groominess. Like, I wouldn't want a guy with long hair. I wouldn't want a guy who like, I guess the long hair is different than like the body hair thing. But yeah, like there's just certain things that I would prefer too. So I'm probably on the also more old fashioned take.
Yeah.
There. Mr. Mo is saying he though doesn't mind hairy armpits because he is from Sweden.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's like that's a foreign thing, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, Europeans for sure.
Europeans, they don't shave armpits.
Yep.
And then Gianluca, he is from Italy, and he is saying depends on how long the hair is, but he understands.
But I understand, honey. I understand.
Okay, so let's see this. Okay, so now
I'll tell you what, if it's first date and her armpits aren't shaved, we can split the check. Let's put it that way. I understand, but I also understand I'm not paying for the whole appetizer, okay?
I one time went on a date with this guy, and he was like complaining about how he went on a date with this woman and she didn't dress up. So there was kind of an indicator he prefers like the more dynamics of feminine, masculine, right? Which is fine, but he didn't pay. Like he only paid his half. Where I'm like, you can't have both, right? If you want to be like the woman to be traditional and wear her dress and some makeup and all that crap, but he can't also be like, well, I'm not going to pay. Like I feel like if you're going to start going into traditional roles, you got to do the whole traditional thing. So it's kind of like what you're saying. If the woman shows up, hairy armpits, sweatpants, whatever, and takes it super casual, then yeah, maybe you're not obligated to pay for that date. I agree with you there.
How would you know unless she was wearing a tank top, right? Like that, like on that first date, Mike? Could you like?
Well, I mean, if you're showing up in sweatpants to our first date, you don't care about me.
It's true.
You know what I mean? I'm only wearing sweatpants to go run errands and stuff together. You know what I mean? And that's like, yeah. And plus, like, if I'm taking you to like, Dantana's or something for our first date, and you show up in sweatpants, it's gonna, come on.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and Bobby, Shane is adding, the guy is right. Don't pay for her dinner if she is showing up like that. So, Mike, you have a lot of people on your side.
A lot of supporters.
Right.
A lot of love. Yeah.
Got a lot of lovers. Question. Let's say you're with someone for a while, and they start to significantly look uglier than when you first started to date them. Would you dump them? I told you, I'm asking you guys the hardest man questions I could come up with.
It's almost like you gotta like, it's one of those questions, or a lot of these questions, you gotta watch what you say, or girls are gonna like, if you're with someone for a while and let's say they tend to let themselves go, I feel like, I'm sure you've had conversations about it, like, hey, I mean, like, maybe put those Oreos down for now and let's try working on healthier habits or whatever. I don't know, gaining weight or I don't know what you mean by uglier. Okay, if it was genetically and she, let's say she exercises every day and she just got uglier, Teresa, then I don't know. I don't know who could just get uglier. Like what? But I wouldn't mind if that was the case. If it was a natural ugly occurrence, then hey, you know what? I got to live and die by that. This is kind of what it is. But I mean, yeah. So plastic surgery helps. I mean, that always is a thing, right?
Oh my God.
This is why it's a live stream. Now you can see why I hide these from people. I was like, I gotta protect people from themselves.
Oh my God.
Mike.
I mean, listen, like, you better share those Oreos with me. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. Is like, if I'm in love with you, and especially if we're married too, like if we're married and we fell in love and I love you and stuff, like, call me old fashioned, but I want to grow old and get fat together. Like that's
Sweet.
what I want to do. See, my thing is though, like I've had exes that would just complain so much about their appearance, and then like, oh my God, I gained so much weight, or like this and that. I was like, well then, it's, don't complain about, like, I don't care what you look like. I love you, but also like, I'm here for you, but also like, if you're complaining about it, do something about it, but also like, I'm still gonna bring Oreos home.
Oh, you're so sweet. Mike's so nice. Jean-Luc agrees with you. He's saying he would also stay with someone if they got uglier, if the feelings are there. So I guess as long as like basically it's kind of like what you're saying. If their personality also changed with the looks, maybe that's a different story. But like but also usually if one person gains a lot of weight, both people gain a lot of weight. It's usually not like one.
Yeah.
But it is weird though if one got different and the other didn't. Like, I think that would actually be strange.
I mean, I don't have any kids, but I think it's a different feeling too. Like, obviously women gain weight when you get pregnant, but like, it's a different feeling than like being like, hey, she's just a girl I'm with and she gained some weight. It's like, no, she's the mother of my child now. So it's more of like, there's a mutual love and respect there. No matter what you look like, you're my family and you're the mother of my kid also,
Yeah.
But those armpits, I'll tell you.
Armpits and Oreos.
If we're gonna lose anything, lose the hair, honey.
It's an easy fix. I mean, it's not plastic surgery like Danny's recommending, but it's.
I'm saying there are options now. Like.
Okay, but let's talk a little bit about like plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Would you want your lady to would you ever suggest to your lady get plastic surgery, or would you just secretly hope she does it? But would you ever just be so bold and be like, I'll pay for your boob job, honey? Like, would you ever do that, Danny? I feel like Mike won't, but I'll ask Mike. But like, it's a pure Danny question.
I love how you said secretly hope though. Like, secretly hope she's.
I mean, like, I think we understand his psychology by now.
Please, God, please get it done, please.
I would never boldly just straight out ask. It's like, would I influence? I've worked in sales long enough to where it's like, hey, you got to get them to say yes without, you got to be able to, you got to be able to steer the conversation. So my thing is like, I would never want her to change anything about her body, so I'm not that bold with it. Okay, Teresa, I know you're over here saying like, you're hoping that I'd go the other way with this, but listen, I would never, if I'm with the person I'm with and she looks how she looks, sometimes that's all you need. You don't need to change anything. There's Pornhub for that. Like, if you want to go out and explore and, feel free. There's plenty of options on there. There's categories, and I wouldn't, so I would never have her to change her body,
Oh, that's nice. I like that. So you would not ask, you would just look at porn. I respect that.
Well, I said I wouldn't. I would say if I would influence, yeah, but small difference. But yeah, absolutely, yeah, porn, yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I like that. Okay, so that was some hot topics. Like that got
super hot. Super hot.
Now you guys are probably like, I secretly wish you would have asked us about the news. That's like less bad than these questions. I guess something a little more simple. What are you guys doing for the holiday now that LA is pretty much in lockdown? Mike.
Um, well, I'm definitely going to influence my girlfriend to get. No,
With Oreos. Don't forget the Oreos.
is this a gift card to what? Plastic? It's like, sweetie. All right. I've been working during the pandemic. So I got to work the holidays, but I'm not going to go home. Like my parents live in Vegas, and they don't even want to, like, my mom's very like just trying to stay safe during the pandemic. So, we're just going to, like, I'm just mailing her gifts and stuff. So, but we just seen each other back in September. So that was cool for like a little bit. We did like an outdoor, like, kind of train ride kind of thing. Very old fashioned.
I like it. Do you do a lot of Zoom stuff with your family? Is that mostly it, since you don't see them?
No, well, my mom just got an iPhone like a couple months ago, so we've been FaceTiming and stuff, which is really cool. And my dad's always had that too, but they're not very technology based. Like my mom's like crazy at texting now. She texts us all the time. She actually it was so cute because she texted me and she's like, she had like some video. I forget what the video was, but she sent it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny, blah blah." And she said she sent it. She texted me, and she's like, "Michael, just want to ask you this because I'm new to the whole texting, but I sent that funny video to like 10 people, and only 3 of them responded. Like, is that rude?" I was like, "It's fine, Mom. You don't have to worry about it." And she's like, "I just find it really rude." Like, it's cool. Like, they watched it. It's all right.
What about you, Danny? What are you doing for the holidays?
Yeah, same with my like families in the East Coast, and I'm not going to be traveling this year, but I don't know. I might probably, maybe how they do like Friendsgiving. Maybe we could do like Friendsmas or something. I don't know. So
Friendsmas. I like.
Yeah.
In your Friendsmas, okay, are you going to do like a potluck? And also, I guess that segs into the next question. What do you consider to be Christmas food? I feel like we all know what, like, well, I guess I'm just sorry. I'm assuming people are doing Christmas, but I might be wrong, but I don't know. But like, what do you consider like the holiday food? Because Thanksgiving, we all know turkey and whatnot. But like, what do you guys consider to be holiday food?
I mean, what, like ham, mashed potatoes, like gravy, Am I close, Mike? That's American stuff, right?
Because he's traditional. We can't get traditional foods, Mike.
Is it traditional? Like cheese, like grilled cheeses and
like.
Well, because is it turkey? I mean, because is it basically just Thanksgiving foods or Christmas foods, besides adding like some peppermint? Like,
Pretty much. I feel like, yeah, it's like peppermint with that's free dessert. Everything else is like the same,
Yeah. Christmas is big on desserts. I feel like that's a big, like, it's always like cookies and my mom makes like biscottis. We call them biscuits. Like, she makes those all the time.
Biscuits.
They're the best. But I grew up at like in Jersey, so I'm like the Italian automatically. But we always had like lasagna, like even on Thanksgiving too. Sometimes we'll have lasagna with like ham and stuff. But yeah, I think it's the same thing. I think it's like you have like ham, mashed potatoes and stuff. Or like if you go out to eat with like a family dinner, you usually get like a steak or something too, like steak and like kind of like a fancy Christmas dinner that way, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think, Christmas doesn't really have a specific, thinking about it doesn't have a specific meal.
Yeah, that's what I wondered about.
Yeah.
Next question. Are you naughty or nice this year, and why? I think that I was nice this year. And I guess it's because most of the time I was in the pandemic and just at home. So it's kind of boring. So I would say that I've been pretty boring, and that's what made me nice. Danny, what about you?
Yeah, same, Teresa. Super nice. Just home and enjoying home life. And yes, that's pretty much it. I agree.
What about you, Mike?
I mean, I want to say naughty, but I've been really nice. I think I've been like, the pandemic made me become like, I mean, I've always been nice, but I think it became like more like compassionate. Like I reach out to people a lot more now, like just saying like, hey, how you been? You doing good? You know, whatever. And just become very nice. You know, I've been nice. So.
I guess
I think also like if you're naughty during the pandemic, I feel like that's so irresponsible, you know? So I feel like you should not be in the streets during the pandemic, you know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if they like had like porn categories now with like where just people just wear masks during it?
I mean, you can find anything. But like Pornhub pretty much like deleted the majority of the videos on their website. Like I think they removed like 10 million pieces of content or something.
I had no idea about that, Teresa.
Maybe it's the only thing that I know about. But yeah, no, but that happened because I guess there was an article in the New York Times where there's a lot of like regular people could just upload anything to Pornhub back in the day. And then they that there was a lot of like, you know, illegal stuff on there. And so Pornhub got in a lot of trouble. And so they finally just cleaned up their website. And so, yeah, the internet is really starting to clean up. But it's kind of like, have you guys heard also with like Instagram is like shadow banning stuff? And like, I think like, and now Twitter puts little warnings on people's tweets. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, is that censorship or is that actually for the good of people?
I hate it. I had so many, like if the last 2 weeks I had like 3 videos get taken down by Instagram. And then they would send me a message and be like, this is violating community guidelines. You know what it was? One video it was like the music was like, can't make a wife out of a hoe. And it was like, just that hoe part, they were like, yeah, you can't do that. And then I was like, what? I was like, do you not see all the other content you have online right now with the butts and the boobs? And like, you know, you might as well take out every IG model Instagram profile right now. Like, why my little tiny video?
But they are actually taking down those.
Yeah, that's what they're starting to shadow ban, right?
Yeah, they're shadow banning of butt models, basically. So they are doing that. But I'm confused, like why music is getting in trouble. Like, is it kind of like, are they trying to become PG essentially? Like,
I don't know. Like, I had another video that was banned because I said naked in the writing. There was a caption. It said naked. Like,
what?
Yeah, and I was like, guys, what is going on? This is not TikTok. I get TikTok. TikTok is like 12-year-old, you know, but we're on IG right now. So
which is 16-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
TikTok, you can't say anything racist. Is that true? I don't know TikTok is.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. I had a lot of videos actually on TikTok that was taken down, and they'll ban me for a month. Where they don't like, you know, most of my videos get pretty good number of views, and then if they ban me, it's like limit. Like I go from like hundreds and thousands to like 100, and maybe like so I have to wait a month before they re-establish my content or something. But
so you can still post even though they like kind of ban you a little bit.
Yeah. So what shadow ban means is you just don't get any views, and they limit it to, like, let's say you have 100,000 followers, they'll limit to 200 people to watch it, and that's it. And then they'll lock your content so it doesn't go to like everyone else that it normally does, no matter how good it is or whatever. Yeah.
Have you both seen your numbers kind of like your views drop the past like 2 months?
Yeah, I feel like my Twitter, I feel like I was actually shadow banned on Twitter, and I don't know why, but I feel like I got way less engagement, but I don't know what I did specifically. But then
my engagement went down. I wonder if I got shadow banned, and they didn't send me anything, but like my engagement went down. I was getting like, you know, it drastically went down.
Yeah.
Did you start posting like jokes that were like political or even talking about COVID?
Yeah, a couple of them, like my monologue jokes. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, because I think I just made a comment like stay safe during the pandemic, and then I got a warning being like, you can't share false content. I was like, what? Yeah, so it's like almost like any mention of anything.
Yeah.
Talk about vaccines, they ban you. It's crazy. I don't know what they expect. It's like, what time are we living in, you know?
It's bots. It's all bots, you know?
The bots are like hiding us, or the bots are like engaging with us? What do you mean?
It's the they're the ones that are flagging our stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily anyone, I think, watching our content, like, and reviewing it. It's like they program these, you know, the algorithm, and then if our content alerts that thing, it like flags it, and that's it. That's just how it is. It's like, I mean,
Wow.
so
I think for music too, I know Facebook started doing it because Facebook owns Instagram now. Is Facebook like if you put any type of song that had like licensing, it would just kind of delete it out of the video.
Oh, weird.
So like,
wow.
because Instagram might be doing that now too, Danny. Because if they block that song, it might not be because of like, you know, they don't like the word hoe. It's just like it's probably they're like, oh, this is licensed wrong.
Oh, they completely deleted the video, like removed it.
Wow.
Were you
Yeah.
able to like what do you call it? Ask for it to come back or like fight it? Or
Yeah, I did fight it because I sent. I was like, I asked for more details. I was like, what, you know, what was the cause? And they were like, it violated community guidelines due to the language. And I was like, language? I was like, oh, like it was the song. That's the only thing I can know because I made a video and I was like, it was just a stupid video, like saying, what was the thing? It said, I was like, oh, when you find out girls shower naked. And then the song was like, can't make a wife out of a hoe. And it's supposed to be funny. It's like, and then it was doing really well. And then like they totally deleted it and shadow banned me. So now my stuff is like, you know, I gotta wait a few weeks to see what happens. But yeah.
That's funny.
Well,
social media, guys.
This will seg into the next segment I wanted to talk about, which is on BuzzFeed. There was this article that I loved, and it was about juicy corporate secrets. And so people on TikTok were like sharing basically like some secrets from their jobs. So one girl said at Hollister, they hire 2 people. Basically, it's like the hot people get to be on the floor and the ugly people get to be in the back and stock stuff. And the hot people get paid more than the ugly people in the back. And then someone who worked at McDonald's said that the nuggets are actually made by Tyson. So it's like basically what you get at the grocery store, you can get is the same as McDonald's. And then what I loved about this one, Marshalls, you know, Marshalls owns Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods. And apparently anyone who works there is not allowed to confront shoplifters for their own safety, for the employee safety, which is nice. But that basically means that if you're shoplifting, the workers won't say anything to you. And so
it's good to know during the Christmas holiday right now.
You know how to shop. You're just blatantly in front of them and they can't do anything and they won't. And so I guess the question I wanted to throw at you guys is, what is the juiciest corporate secrets that you know from former jobs or current jobs, if you're willing to share?
Takes me back.
I'll give you a second to think about it.
Well, I mean, I've worked in casinos all my life, and I mean, they're just like,
oh, I want to hear this. Yes.
It's the sketchiest stuff, you know. I mean, people get whacked for well, not killed, but like whacked, like they got let go because just somebody doesn't like them or something, you know what I mean? Or they kind of like, or like, you know, some shift manager is like hooking up with a dealer, and then like, you know, it's just another floor. Like there's so much, like you can make a reality show of casinos, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of shit. Like, I mean, people like steal at the casino, but like the same thing you're talking about TJ Maxx, like people steal at the casino, but some of the secret, if they know you're like Teresa, if you're dealing and you start stealing and I caught you, I'm going to let you keep stealing because
if I'm the employee that's stealing or the player that's stealing?
An employee. Oh, if a player's stealing, we'll also let you. I've caught people like players like cheating, and I let them cheat for a little bit. I call surveillance. I used to be a pit boss back in on the East Coast.
Oh, that's cool.
Dang.
But what you want to do is you want to get like a case, because if somebody just like, you know, pinches their bet or like presses their bet $50 and then it's only $50, you want that guy to think that, oh no, I got away with it, let me keep going. And then instead of charging him for $100, like, you know, taking against the casino, you're charging for 1,000 or something, you know. The same with employees. Like they'll set up employees too. If they know they're stealing, they'll put them on certain games and stuff. And then let them steal.
Oh, okay, what's a play can steal? It's not so obvious as in like just putting in their pocket, or is it as obvious as that? Or is it some kind of a game play that they steal?
We used to have some, I mean, he used to do some sketchy shit when I used to manage the craps game. And there was this guy that used to do some weird shit. Cause you could like, have you guys ever played craps before?
I've seen it.
Roll the dice, but I don't actually understand it.
Well, if you have money in front of you, you can be like, let me get 120 inside or something, and the dealer can just say bet, right? Or like you can turn your bets on and off and stuff. And this one dealer used to do this thing where he would just like turn someone off, and then like he wouldn't say it, but he was like helping that guy steal, because really he should have lost, but he's like, oh no, he was off. But then we found out later that he was just taking a full stack of chips and just like he had like a little pouch in his pants and would just throw them in there. So like people would go to all extremes. There's this old Atlantic City story where this guy would do something crazy with his hands, and he would like steal money by putting chips in his mouth real quick, right? But he ended up dying because the chips are so disgustingly dirty, and he had like a cut in his mouth or something. He ended up getting like some crazy infection and died from stealing. So
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's the crazy corporate stuff in the casinos that happens.
I guess I always thought that casinos were so like security run that like there's cameras everywhere and there's like security that I just like was always assumed people were too scared basically to mess with the casino. So this is like fascinating that anyone would even try.
Yeah, nobody ever really does. I mean, that's the sketchy stuff they do too, is like, it's such a weird system. I don't know if other places do this too. It's like people trying to get a job, they got to check your credit. If you have bad credit, you're not going to get a job at a casino, which is because they think like, oh, you're going to steal and like do this and you're like desperate and stuff. But it's like, no, I just need a job. That's the reason I want to get out of this debt, So it's like, it's weird stuff like that. I've had stories of people like, people I've known that got, fired because like they ran their credit again. It was bad credit. They never like told but it's all people are like, hunting for you and stuff too, sometimes too. Like they just want to get them fired and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you'll never get away with it.
Okay, that's it. They don't get away with it. Okay.
Yeah, you'll never get away with it. You can steal something and you probably will get away with it, but they know. They're always going to know.
That's interesting. What about you, Danny? What is your juiciest corporate secret or secrets that you know about corporations?
Man, I worked at Baskin Robbins. That wasn't really juicy. My boss would just like steal tubs of like ice cream home. and then he would just reorder and you would get like free, because he would be like, oh, the shipment came. I don't see butter pecan. I don't see, daiquiri ice. And so he'll get like free tubs that he could take home. That's like very, very minimal stuff, but minimal fraud, I would say. But with like, I used to work at like, it was like 2009 for like a mortgage company. And I was like an assistant, and I would watch these guys, like, they're loan officers. So they're like giving out loans. This is during the time where before they implemented like big laws on like verification and stuff. These guys were just giving mortgages to people based on like, and I'm witnessing these calls. They're like going through the application and they're like, okay, so how much do you make per year? And she's like, oh, I only make like 3,000. He said, how much do you make per year? And then they would literally go out into it and be like, and write, okay, so 100,000, is that what you said? And then just, that's why so many people foreclosed on their homes back in 2009 and 2010. They were giving out, just mortgages left and right. So yeah, I think that's probably the coolest thing to witness, because like it's like real-time fraud. And then they implemented like the licensing, and like they had to get tested and get fingerprinted and do all these things now to be like, a loan officer. But I'm not. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Well, that's crazy. But that makes sense, right? Because that is how the bubble started, because everyone's just getting loans and you're like, why are they getting these loans? And also, why were people paying more for a house than they should? That's almost to me like LA City, when they're like, a homeless person's house, for us to build one house, it's $750,000. You're like, why is their house more than a regular house? Like, why does it cost the city more for a homeless house? And then you see like these like restaurants build like a random pop-up tent in like a day, and it costs them like $1,000. So you're kind of like, there's just a lot of like fraud that we're witnessing now, I think, with the pandemic and everyone's
Yeah.
But I guess I'm trying to think. My juiciest corporate secret, I don't know if it's juicy, but like I always thought it was interesting because I used to work at Cedars-Sinai, and it's like a huge medical complex. And like, it's not cheap by any means, and they pay people really well, but they're deemed a nonprofit. And I just kind of found out there's all these organizations that like, if they say they give back in some way, they can call themselves nonprofits. Like the NFL is a nonprofit. And I'm like, what does the NFL do to give back? Like at least Cedars, like they do like these, what do you call it, programs to help the community. And that's how they call themselves that. But other organizations, I'm like, how are you a non-profit? So I guess maybe that's it. It's just like the term of it. Like even like Goodwill is like paying people, like they pay workers nothing, but the guy at the building takes so much money and he gets free inventory, and you're like, this is a weird charity,
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, let's move on.
I think it's quite, oh shit. All right.
I just like dropped the mood. I'm like, oh, this it's like we're all just talking about like man stuff and then fraud. It just like got really dark.
That's the most manliest thing you can do, is to commit fraud. All right.
Fraud. It's like Christmas time. You gotta steal for your family, get those presents, commit some fraud.
So funny.
I guess kind of staying along the same topic. So Joe Biden has proposed that he wants to cancel student debt. Maybe not all of student debt, but basically like, I think that what the proposal that's going around is like a certain amount of money for each person who has debt. And some people though are against it. They're like, I had to pay. How come other people get it free? That's just a free ride, blah, blah. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think that they should just go ahead? Like if someone has a student loan debt that's like 70,000 and the government gives them 30, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? What are your thoughts?
My first thought is obviously to lean into like, yay, free money. But then it's like, also like that money's got to come from somewhere. So I feel like it's never free, I'm not smart enough to know like the meaning behind all of that, but I know that it's got to come from somewhere, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know exactly where it's coming from. I don't know if perhaps like the companies that own all this debt, like maybe they owe the government debt because they got bailed out or something like that. So I think there is a plan of where it came from. So I don't know if it necessarily hurts the economy or like taxpayers are paying for it, but it sounds like what really makes people upset is that some people paid and some people are essentially getting a free ride, and people don't think that's fair.
I mean, there wasn't like iPhones back then before Motorola, you can't get mad that stuff didn't exist back then, It's such a weird way of thinking. Like, well, I had to do it back then. It's like, yeah, but your parents were also in World War II. You didn't have to do that either,
Listen, I paid in full for the first PlayStation. I deserve the PS5. Okay, that's what I deserve. I'm pissed off. I mean, I'm not pissed off. I think that's awesome, but like, it sucks the timing for me. I just paid my student loans off back in March, so I'm like, damn, now we get a relief. What the hell? So I think if anything, there should be like, if you had student loans, you should be able to get a percentage, like a tax credit, or something like that. Like, my loans weren't crazy. I got like, it was like a car payment, like I was paying $100 a month. I think over 10 years, it was like a $15,000 loan or something, but the people that are in like $90,000 of debt, like, how do you get out of that? You need help.
But also, I guess the question is as well, is like, you went to a school where it sounds like it was less expensive versus like, let's say someone who chose for whatever reason to pay 200 grand for like a liberal arts degree, where you're a little bit like, why are we bailing you out? Like that's
yeah,
definitely.
Definitely.
So that's why I think people are kind of like angry about this cancel student debt thing, because it's like about choices. Like I do believe like if you're a teacher or like a nurse or social worker or something, like, yeah, bail them out. But then it's like, do I want to pay for if someone's film degree? It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But then that's a hater.
Yeah.
Me being a hater, there's no other reasoning besides me just being rude.
Yeah, I don't think it's being. I think it's also. I think it is great to bail people out a little bit, but it's also the same thing where like that's your own fault. if you really wanted to go to Yale to be an actor, you fucked up. You know?
Right.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, and so that's what people are like upset about, because it's not just like about certain jobs that like help the community, that's obviously going to help the community, right? Like, I don't get why anyone would go to USC for a social work degree and it costs the same amount as like an MBA. Like, I just don't get why you would do that, but some people do, you know? But even then it's like, okay, you're guaranteed to take a career where you're not going to make a lot of money, but you help people. So it's like, that makes sense. But you're right. It's like, it's hard to like be like, oh, I gotta fund this guy, you know. So.
But you know, it all starts at the top though too. School shouldn't be that expensive. You know, it shouldn't be.
No, that's true too. It is way too expensive.
You know, and even if you are going for, I mean, liberal arts is something different. I mean, just go to acting school or something. You know what I mean? Go to Playhouse West. You know, go do. Are you in debt? I'm in debt. You're in debt. I'm in debt. You're in debt. I'm in debt. You know, do that for a little bit. You know, but I don't know.
We have a comment from Gianluca. He's saying, so I think he's actually for canceling student debt. He's saying, no need of placing 18-year-olds with 100K of debt. It's just messed up. Even if they get the free ride, it's solving the student loan bubble. And you legally can't drink, but you can be in debt for 100K. That makes no sense. And I think that actually I think he does have a good point though, because like, we don't give them a house mortgage to an 18-year-old with no income, but we'll saddle them with the same amount for school, which is a little strange. And then not only that, like when you do bankruptcy court, you can't get rid of your student loans. You can get rid of all your other debt, but not student loans. It's like, why, you know?
Well, Danny's old boss will be able to hook you up with whatever loan you want, you know? What's that? You make what?
Yeah. You make plenty.
So yeah, but I think you're right too, that school is getting really expensive. Like, I don't know why anyone during this pandemic is paying the same amount for online school as like real life school. I was like, well, you should just defer. Like, I can't believe they're actually getting people to pay 50 grand to just be on Zoom. Like, to me, it's just crazy.
Yeah. It's insane, you know?
Okay. We have only about 5 minutes left. And so let me think what the final question is. Okay, so I asked this yesterday, but Hawaii is offering an incentive. They basically want like remote workers to move to Hawaii and basically spend money there. So it means like you already have a job somewhere else, but you can live in Hawaii. And so they'll give you like a free plane ride and like discount rent. And so I guess my question to you guys is, what would it take for you to move out of Los Angeles?
A pandemic. No, I'm kidding.
You're like, I'm ready to go now.
I'm ready to go now.
You know, I don't. Go ahead, Mike.
Nothing. Yeah.
I mean, I want to be in the pictures. You know what I mean? Go back to my old fashioned. I want to do movies and comedy and all that stuff. Does Hawaii really have a comedy scene? You know, like, or I mean, what do I have to do remotely? You know,
because I saw that Oklahoma was doing something similar where they're trying to get people to move to Oklahoma, so they're almost giving like a free home essentially. But it's like, yeah, would you sacrifice LA and pretty much your dreams and your lifestyle or security? I guess that's the real question, is security, I guess.
Because it depends on what you want to do. You know, if you want to be like, if you're in finances or like you work for like, Chase Bank or something, you could do stuff remotely, then yeah, you might as well have like the beach, and you might as well be drinking, like, instead of a coffee cup, you have a coconut, something like that. But like, I think it depends on your profession. None of us would want to be,
exactly.
We're all comedians. I don't want to move to Hawaii,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's like the same as like it's almost like giving up, you know? like
Yeah.
like
I guess with both of you, that there's nothing, you will never give up on this entertainment dream, is what you're saying.
at this moment in time, I feel like yeah, like what Mike said, I feel like if that's your thing and you want to, you know, you're not in the business because I I like LA for the fact that I've been out of it. I've been to Sacramento recently. I just got back from Chicago and I'm like I like LA is just diverse.
Mhm.
It's like very like, you know, you're not looked at weird, you know, for being a different color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
No,
just a
I think that
cool
Mike's like, yeah, I understand.
No, I love that. No, for real. Like I love that about LA. Not looking at me, but like I mean, like I love how everyone just loves each other in LA. Where
yeah.
like, I mean, I don't know how many people I know from back east that would send me like all this crazy conspiracy shit about the coronavirus. You know what I mean, or whatever else. I don't want that. I
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
you know, LA has so many like-minded people, which is incredible. You know, it just,
Yes.
it's great.
Yes. Like-minded people. Like obviously for us, this is an odd question because we're obviously gonna be biased and be like, no, we're not done yet. Whatever that is that we're chasing, we're still going.
Yeah.
And you know, we really want to get it, whatever that is. And so yeah, I feel like going to Hawaii on a free ride, it's like almost it's like you might as well just send me, you know, doesn't matter even if it's Hawaii or where. Like we can't perform remotely. We can't you know, I'm sure yeah, well now we can audition and stuff remotely, I guess, whatever, but you
Yeah.
know, it's just not where it's at.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense because I think for me, I would possibly consider where I knew it was short term, but I don't know if I would do anything like permanent. But I don't think I'd have a problem going to a different city for several months. But yeah, I don't think I would ever permanently want to give up LA. I do love it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got what do they got also here, Teresa? The taro fish ice cream.
They don't have that anywhere else?
I mean, I had it my first time when we went. That was pretty much it. So I'm assuming LA had it. This is like the first.
But yeah, so like me and Danny one time we got one of those ice creams that like, and then it comes with a waffle cone that's shaped like a fish, and it was delicious. It was at Somi Somi.
Hell
That's what
yeah.
it's called.
Have you ever been?
No, I gotta go now.
Yeah, they have different chains everywhere. So we like Danny and I did this show called Crazy Woke Asians, and it was in Santa Monica. And then so we walked on a break to like the 3rd Street Promenade, and that promenade is busy. It was like uncomfortably busy.
Like COVID didn't exist, Mike. It was crazy. Like it
Oh,
was
this
just
was
like
recent. Oh, this was recently.
yeah.
Okay, so now we're probably on the naughty list. Now that we're like,
You're so naughty.
nice. And it's like we stay in and we just outed ourselves.
Yeah.
No, but Danny and I wore masks, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But like it was busy. And then not only that, like people were actually performing on the promenade, which blew my mind. Like someone has a fucking concert with like a big crowd around them. We're like, how is that loud? Remember that?
Wow.
And they were just literally like a group, just an audience. And I'm like, why can't we do stand up if this is literally like the same thing? Like it was just.
You know what? I am going to Hawaii. I'm not doing.
Okay, well, on that note, we're gonna end the show. So Mike, where can people find you?
So you can check me out on Instagram at Mike Perkins _. And if you're here on YouTube, go to Perk Productions. I'm on there, and I do a live show every month as well. So
Cool.
check it out.
What's the show called?
It's called Another Late Show Tonight. It's like a live talk show.
Oh,
So
very awesome.
yeah.
And what about you, Danny? Where can people find you?
Just all social media is under Plums. It's my last name, and then it's the fruit. So it's like Plum. But very creative. I'm very proud of myself. So go ahead and yeah, just follow me. I guess if not, it's okay. But yeah, just hit me up. You know.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming today, and thank you guys for revealing your manliest secrets. And we'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.